Yeah, we're here with Patrick Callahan here on Katunkwit Chronicles, and I am so pleased to have you back here in the studio for some devilry, devilment.
No, it's great to be here. It's great to be back on the show.
Well, that's good. So, what have you been doing lately? Have you been recovering from surgery or something?
Yeah, I have been recovering from surgery. I had surgery about 6 months ago on my collarbone.
Nothing funny about that.
No, it's not as funny as the funny bone.
Yeah, there's nothing good about it.
No.
Has you? How far along are you with this recovery thing?
I've pretty much finished my major stepping stones. Now it's really just about regaining the strength in the muscle system and all that stuff from just the atrophy of 6 months or so.
So did they prescribe like heavy doses of marijuana or anything like that?
I wish. No, that would have been nice.
I don't think you'd even need a prescription any longer.
No,
So that's good. Is anything helping with the pain?
Really just the repetitive exercise at PT that really just helps get it nice and loose, and to the point where when I roll over in the middle of the night, I'm not like, and then wake it up,
Yeah. Anything else happening in your life that we should be, that the people out in Colorado should be aware of?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are you going to ski this winter?
Actually, yes. I was thinking about, I haven't been skiing since, I think, 2019. But one of my friends asked me the other day, hey, do you ski? And I said, yeah, I have my skis in the garage. And he said, well, can you ski? Because he's thinking of my injury. And I said, well, yeah, I don't think it really affected the lower extremities. So I'm looking forward to hitting the slopes.
You don't want to hit the slopes.
Oh, well, yes,
That's
exactly.
You want to, if you fall in the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's extra stretching there involved. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm considering it this year again, but every year the risk of losing golf season is greater and greater.
Yeah.
I'm not really walking very well today. Recently, Rob Reiner and his wife were also shot to death.
Yes.
Just today, a woman was shot to death in the streets. She was protesting in her car the abduction of people on the streets by the group known as ICE. Mm. There seems to be a lot of this going on.
Yeah. It's
a tragic time.
It's a mad, mad world.
Yes. And, I'm confused by much of it.
It's tragic.
So I think it could happen in Katunkwit.
Yeah, it can happen anywhere. I think especially with everything that happened in Providence last month. And, I think it's absolutely something that you never think it could happen where you are, but no one's immune. It's all, it could happen anywhere.
In case you haven't been looking at the news, there was an assassin that came in and assassinated a bunch of people, 2 people, I should say, at Brown University, and wounded 9. Fortunately, the other 9 are out of the hospital at this time, and that person has been discovered. He killed himself. So lots of things that are tragic that we need to be aware of, and we can't just yuck it up about stuff like that.
No.
It's got to happen, and
yeah,
and it seems to happen too often.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know that the mortality rates? This is for the year 2023, and deaths by firearm per 100,000 total population. 2 in the Northeast region, including Rhode Island, 2.5 to, is this 8.78?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what there's this range, right? So so if there's every 100,000 people and there's 1 million people in Rhode Island, 2.5 to 8, almost 9 people will be killed by firearms. That seems low.
Yeah, well, it would be
given that it just went up.
Yeah, exactly. I think, well, like you say, when we always think, it can never happen here. Rhode Island has been, on the whole, very lucky to not have had anything of this sort of, global scale attention tragedy before. But like you said, one event, now the numbers are almost double.
Now, in Massachusetts, other parts of the Northeast, I think Massachusetts would be the first one, 8.78 to 1506. Mm-hmm. So you're more likely to get shot in in other states in the
Right.
region. I won't suggest that that's Massachusetts, but there were designations I think I left out of this, but it goes all the way up to 21 to 27 and that's in other parts of just in the Northeast region, okay? Which I would imagine includes all of the New England states, maybe New York.
Probably
right?
New York, yeah.
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 And then if you look over here in Louisiana, Missouri, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Montana, if there's 100,000 people, 27 to 33 people are likely to get shot.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
34, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're at 2.5 to 8.78 in Rhode Island. But these are just numbers, obviously, can change any time.
Right.
But apparently, where there's these other states, Louisiana, Missouri, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Montana, if I'm not wrong, that's where guns are legalized.
Yeah.
And you can carry.
Yes, yeah. Open
the
carry
streets.
states, yeah.
So that's a good indication of how some gun control might affect and improve things.
Right,
but
right.
We don't know. Yeah, I couldn't get any real-time data. Those are 2023 data. And I suspect, given that the way things were cut, these kinds of data collection systems are going to be gone from CDC because they were just crushed.
And you have to think, too, it probably takes them like a full year to even compile these statistics because of all the death notices and figuring out how things happened, and certain people can't be classified as whatever, when they're until the case is closed and they can figure out that it was a death by, murder, or, things like that. So it can even make the numbers go up, post after they get, released if they discover more, cases.
It's troubling.
Yeah. Yeah.
But are we going to whitewash these statistics to favor a certain political bent? That's the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's always a matter of, it's going to be,
At what expense, though, at the end?
it's the human lives, that are going to be lost by all this, back and forth, and it's disheartening to see that it's like the common issue of people having the right to, pursue life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Not a whole lot of life or liberty or happiness happening if, the other end of a gun.
No. Well, you're also not necessarily safe in a public place now.
Yes.
For a lot of reasons.
Oh, yes.
Maybe guns are one. But also, if we look at the recent situation in, I believe was it Norway? Or where was the fire recently? Tragic fire. Killed over 40 people.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, and New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And if you look at the way that happened, it's so similar. There's fireworks involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there were sparklers, but in a public situation like that, it just seems like we haven't learned lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth for guns. It's the truth in this situation with fire.
Yeah.
You'd think that when 100 people, such as, lost their lives in the station house fire.
Yes, yeah.
That would resonate in the free world for sure, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what do I say, the free world? But, I mean, the world that's cognizant of news.
Right, yeah.
So
Not closed off.
Yeah, I would imagine that steps would be taken to eliminate that kind of thing. But, stuff does happen, and it's tragic, and people are lost their lives.
I know.
And young people, too, so
Yeah.
even more tragic. So when I look at and going to a place like New York, where I visit quite often, I do look for the exits, and I do look at the security. And there was an occasion where I went to a comedy show that was in the basement of this place, and there was only one exit, and I thought real hard about going in there,
Yeah, yeah.
But I did. But, that would be an occasion where if other parts of the building were to come on fire, we would have a hard time getting out.
Oh, yeah. No, it's something that you got to almost, I hate to say it, but it's like you almost have to think about it whenever you go in a crowded venue, like go to the movies or something, and it's a packed house. You got the front exits that are completely cloaked in darkness, but I can see the little signs poking up. So I guess there's an exit back there. But otherwise, I mean, I don't know that we are all properly as an adult society prepared for an emergency if it were to happen. One of the things, it was funny, at work this week, they were doing a smoke alarm fire check to make sure that they all worked. And some smoke accidentally stayed in the detectors a little longer than it should have, and it set all the alarms in the building off. And I'm looking around, and I'm saying, well, I don't smell fire, I don't see fire. I said, I guess this is a fire drill. So I grab my jacket and I start heading out, and then we find out they came over the intercom and said, no, it was they were just testing the system. It was just an accident. But it made me think, boy, it's been an awful long time since I've done a fire drill.
True.
And I'm in, most of us,
You're in a public setting with a university population, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not a unfathomable thing, but
Yeah.
sure, I think you had a fire here, didn't you?
We did have a fire, yeah. Yeah.
Thankfully, no loss of life.
No, yep.
Have you been visiting we're changing the subject, visiting any restaurants or anything lately?
Trying to think.
I mean, the holiday was just
Yeah.
recently, but
Well, I went to Twin Oaks for a little Christmas dinner with my family.
did you get a plate of pasta and some baked stuffed shrimps?
Oh yes, and mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
and gravy.
The drinks that they serve before while you're waiting.
Yeah.
You have a family member that works there or something?
My uncle used to work there when he was younger.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have a connection. He gets
Yeah.
you in the door.
Oh yeah. No 2-hour wait.
No, but the 2 hours, they make some stiff drinks
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. So did you have something good?
Oh yeah, I always go for the pasta ravioli and get one of those giant baseball-sized meatballs. And get a little side of the like you said, the
Let's
big,
go. Let's go over there sometime. I'd like to
Yeah,
do that with you.
that's great, yeah.
We should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Callahan, it's over there
That's
eating
me.
all the Italian food.
Yeah, you don't get that good. The Irish cooking is a lot more unseasoned, I guess you could say. Plain,
Yeah, you eat a lot of kidneys.
Oh yeah, a lot of liver, kidneys. yeah.
You know the story about when we were in Ireland. I
No.
was with Eva, and we're in Ireland, and we're eating at like kind of a banquet situation. And the in this case, the waiter comes over. She's got the. We have had on our plate. We had fries and baked potato and some kind of amalgam of innards, and all mixed up. And then she came over and she said, "Would you like some mashed?" And she, "Would you like some mashed?" And then my wife said, Eva says, "Oh no, I'm stuffed." And of course, all the Irish guys in the room are laughing their asses off because stuffed, as you know, in Ireland means fucked.
Yes. Yep.
So very funny
Yep,
moment for all involved. And then we got an education that day.
Yes. Yeah.
I went over to Matunic Oyster Bar. They had a fire.
They did.
And
Yes.
speaking of fire, so
Yeah.
and they're not back in action in a building, but they had this big giant tent.
Yeah, I've
and
heard about
they
that,
run
yeah.
the operation through there. It was far less crowded, of course. And we went over, and the food was very much similar. But the experience is different.
Yeah.
You're in a
Nothing
tent.
beats the view of the dining room that they have.
Well, yeah, true, but I mean, you get a little bit of the view because
Yeah.
it's in a tent, though.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
face it, right?
It's just not.
It was cool. It wasn't cold, but it was cold out, and
Right.
they managed to keep it cool in the place. But
Have you ever been in one of those igloo things that some of the restaurants have in the winter?
no, but a friend of mine, he was coercing me to go in there. That was during COVID that they had those.
Yeah.
And he paid like $500 to be in there, and I don't really know why.
Yeah.
And it was at the Coast Guard house.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
No, I've never been into
Yeah,
anything
me
like
neither.
that. I'd be so inclined to want to just roll everybody over and just, roll down the street. So JT Coleman's, I think it is called, or Commons, JT Commons in Middletown.
Yes, yeah.
I went over there. It's like more of like a pizza place, but it's like a nice high-end pizza place. And the time we went to the bar, we had a good time. I thought it was fun. The bartender was superb. And the food, we weren't going for anything fancy. But then we went back. It's always a mistake. So we brought our daughter back there, and a daughter's, and it wasn't quite as good. And there wasn't many options for people that are, have a lot of dietary restrictions. Right. But they seemed like they were friendly and everything. The waiter or whatever was fine. So I don't know. Those are my. But we went to Krakow Deli. Have you been to Krakow's Deli?
I haven't. No.
They're in Woonsocket.
Okay.
And Krakow is an all Polish deli. When I say a deli, they make all the old Polish foods like gołąbki and all the things I like, pierogies and pierogies with potatoes, pierogies with cabbage. Pardon me. And we were over there doing the Polish food, and we had the best time. Then we went to the Workers' Museum, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah, the Museum of Work and Culture.
Yeah, you got it, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Always wanted to go there. I've seen the signs on the highway ever since I was a kid. There's always part of me chuckles, and I always say to my dad, who wants to go to the Museum of Work? But it's a misnomer. It's the museum of the whole region being so influential in the history of industrialization in the country.
What struck me was the poverty that was in the poverty in Canada at the time.
Yes,
was to such the farmers who just couldn't make a living.
Yeah,
and then they maybe there were tariffs. Who knows?
Probably. Yeah, it was back in the 1800s for sure.
And so they moved down to Woonsocket, and they had they built a beautiful community there, along with in the industrial situation. I mean, I'm sure they were abused, and there was a lot of problems until there were unions. I imagine after a while, but. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, my great-grandfather, my grandmother's father was French Canadian. They came down late 1800s. He was born in Canada, got married in Canada, moved down here. Same reason, they needed work. He worked in a factory, but they had the connections because of all the people who had already settled here in Woonsocket and Providence area. And
so you could try for Canadian citizenship if you were so inclined.
Yeah, I don't know if they let the great grandson. I don't know if that's or I guess maybe. I don't know. I could always try.
You're pretty great.
Yeah.
So. Callahan's from up there in Canada. Well, we're going to transition now to the next section.
All right. Music.
Bubbles. We're going to play Fill in the Limerick. We haven't played this in a long time.
No.
The reason we don't is that Ashlyn, who you might have noticed isn't with us today, we're doing an off-site program today, so she's not available. But we're going to try this Limerick thing because actually Ashlyn really doesn't like to do the Limerick.
Always like a good limerick.
Let's try these.
All right.
So I wrote a few limericks, and I was hoping that you could fill in at the bottom.
Okay.
A man with a monkey was doodling one day, when the monkey joined him in doodling and had this to say, "I'll doodle away, but why won't you play?" And the man said, "I'll play if you'll only..."
I'm inclined to say pay.
If you'll pay, of course, the monkey and the pay. Very good. Now, there's no right answers to these.
Okay.
And you out there in Katunquit land listening to this, can fill in as you like. Sometimes the stock markets jump. Sometimes the market dips. But when the market remains status quo, the people in the know
jump ship.
Jump ship. Oh.
I don't know. I was trying to think of if it jumps and dips, maybe they're jumping ship, but not if it's status quo. So
Maybe buy low.
buy low. There you go. Yeah.
Johnny's a real rocker, and he's become an avid TikToker. But after yesterday's download of a recent concert, Johnny pulled down the TikTok because it wasn't.
This is a tough one because it wasn't.
We can go there again. Johnny's a real rocker. He's become an avid TikToker, which is my favorite line.
Yes, yeah.
But after yesterday's download of a recent concert, Johnny pulled down the TikTok because it wasn't.
I need the Jeopardy music here. Well, I got nothing. Wagered 1,000.
Okay, and he's become an avid TikToker, but after
Yep.
yesterday's download of a recent concert, Johnny pulled down the TikTok because it wasn't. I've forgotten what my answer was.
We'll say.
Quixotic.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Mary is from Katunkwit. She wears her feelings on her sleeve, can you believe it? But she never wipes her nose with her sleeve in the cold because she doesn't want to alter her ego. So whenever she's in need of a tissue, she just opens her blouse whenever she's ready to.
Achoo.
All right, I like it. Not you. Yeah, good. Very good. That was the intent, and the very well said. My favorite part of this one. You have a favorite part? Feelings in her sleeve can. It's the ego.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
she doesn't want to alter. Her
Yeah.
Because when but she never wipes her nose with her sleeve in the cold because she doesn't want to alter her ego. That's a good line. Okay, a little fun with that, and we're gonna change. We're gonna change up again and go with music, waves, and bubbles. Well, it's time to pay the bills, and we have some commercials here. Do you want to read some, or shall I read one of them?
I'd love to read. I'd love to read one.
Which one would you like to read?
Let's see. Let's pull up the old list of commercials here. You know,
I love these.
yeah, we
This is a good one.
we get some great advertisers today. You know, I really like Harry's Whole Hogs. I think I'll.
You're going to start with Harry.
I'll start with
Okay,
Harry.
you
Yeah,
start us off.
Yeah. So a lot of you, I'm sure, know Harry's Whole Hogs, located at the Minerva Farm. Buy a whole hog the old-fashioned way with Harry's Whole Hogs. Here's how Harry's Whole Hogs works. Harry explains. In the spring, you buy and humanely brand a piglet with a permanent marker. We have a shitload of piglets. You can name the pig and even bring it house scraps, food scraps from your table throughout the year. Your pig will live in complete harmony with nature in an electrically fenced field where he or she will dine on the finest vegetable scraps from our high tunnel growing areas. Imagine growing a pig on turnips and potatoes and potato peels, all the things you like to eat. You can periodically bring some treats to your pig on special occasions, and as your pig grows, we send electronically generated photos of your pig in the pigsty, on the free range and wallowing in the mud.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a great service.
great idea.
We're not even halfway through here. The copy's great.
Oh boy, we had a malfunction here. Okay,
Good.
Keep going.
Yeah. When it comes time to harvest your pig, we involve you here in the process as well. You can do as much of the slaughtering and butchering as you would like, with certified butchers on site to guide you through the processes. Your meat will then be packed with hand-printed freezer paper with images of your pig on each package of your wholesome pork cuts of meat. You've never tasted bacon with a name before. If you thought it was good before, taste the bacon when it has your stamp on every package. Call Harry's for a tour of the Minerva Farm and pick up some of Missy's French meat pies while you're at it. Piglet prices start at $1,200 for the non-guaranteed piglet to pork experience, while the guaranteed power pork pricing is firm at $1,500. What do you suppose the difference between
Well,
those?
you're gonna find
Oh,
out.
okay, all right. Final fatted pigs range from 200 pounds to 500 pounds, with a dressed out weight of 100 pounds of meat to 250 pounds of meat. The average price per pound is approximately $7.5, and the guaranteed price per pound is higher at approximately $9.37 a pound. Come and visit us soon.
So I think if you get the power pork pricing,
Yes.
what you're getting for the extra $300 is a guaranteed weight.
I got you. Yeah.
So you're guaranteed of 250 pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Not of meat, but the 250-pound pig.
The pig. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, Harry maybe Harry could come on the show.
Boy, he's got some pigs.
He's got that's a great idea though. I mean, let's really know our food.
Absolutely.
We could name it.
Yeah. Know it on a first name basis.
Now Harry had a very verbose approach to his advertising. Now this one's shorter. Derek's high-end computer assistants. I know computer systems. Call me.
You know,
Now there's something wrong with this.
what do you think?
He knows computer systems and he's requiring a call.
I could see.
There's just irony in that.
Yeah.
It's just too much
Yeah.
for me to not let.
He should have like given a QR code or something that we would have to read out loud or something.
Yes, it should have created a new system
Right.
for identifying.
I will
this
say,
business.
I think that's effective advertising though. That short and sweet. You
Yeah,
know,
I
if you're
agree.
advertising something complex, if you know it, just say you know it.
Yeah, there's maybe a little too much about the pigs' weights and pounds and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but
Hey,
whatever.
it's effective at people want to get the right products, and Harry was just trying to make sure. I think that.
Well, it could have been Derek's high-end pig computer assistant.
Yes, absolutely.
For only pigs.
Just for pigs. Well, if they're going to be in your house and you know their name and everything, you might want to create a login for them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you're all about logins.
Of course.
I never remember any of them. That's just, I'm always changing them because I never remember any of them. Jeremy's Artisan Snow Shoveling Services. I think this is great.
Yeah, this is great.
For every completed artisan snow shoveling experience, excuse me, it brings me to cough, booked for the 225, excuse me, 2026 season in advance, Jeremy will find an old needy person to shovel their walkway at no cost to that person.
Wow.
So it's like, I remember a friend of mine was selling vacuum cleaners back it was his first non-fishing job,
Yeah.
He was a fisherman too. And his wife insisted that he no longer fish. It was too dangerous.
Yeah.
And she was right. And because he was diving for quahogs alone, every day in the freezing water in a dry suit. I mean, very dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
But so he went out and started selling vacuum cleaners to all his his relatives, and he had a lot of relatives, so he was doing quite well. But he had this not gimmick. He did it for the right reasons.
Right.
And it was that he needed to become a salesperson, but also because there was a famine at the time.
Okay.
So he would donate, and he did. I think $100 of his commission, and it was a real deal, and he did it, and it was a very smart way to go about selling vacuum cleaners, because he sold so many that he got his next job in sales. And there you have that. But now I don't know why I said that. Oh, because in this case, the artisan shoveling is taking place.
Right.
And then they go over to the person that doesn't have much help. A person, perhaps an elderly person,
Right.
or a person with some kind of inability to do the, maybe they have back problems I did. And now they get that they're more of a pedestrian approach to shoveling, I'm sure.
Right. It's just the basics, the basic package, if
Let's
you will.
find out more about Jeremy.
Right,
With Jeremy's Artisan Snow Shoveling, Jeremy piles the snow in one single site on your lawn or place of your choice. So he takes all the snow and puts it in one spot and builds an ice sculpture that will be the marvel of the neighborhood. Enjoy the total removal of dangerous snow and ice from your property and the development of something truly artistic at the same time, all while helping others. Jeremy uses only shovels, ice chisels, wheelbarrows to form this masterpiece.
Wow.
He and his wife, Josephine, will serve all of your winter needs this winter. Fees start at $250 per snow incident. But think about it. You're getting something creative.
Absolutely.
I've seen some of these things. And
Yeah.
I'm telling me, Josephine, she's the one with all the talent. Well, not to say that Jeremy doesn't have talent either, but she's really very creative ice sculptor. I think it's something that might take off, truthfully, in our community.
Oh, I mean, even if you think about, so when I was growing up, we used to have a lot more snow back then than we do now. Not even that it was that long ago altogether.
I'm going to say you're not very old.
I mean,
Mr. Callahan.
I know, but we would have. I had a retaining wall in the house that I grew up in next to the driveway. It was a bit of a slope, and when it would snow heavy, like foot or whatever, we'd have the snow blower out. My dad would do the snow blowing, and he'd push the two big piles of snow on opposite sides of the driveway, right? So then my sister and I would have snowball fights. I would always take the snow fort behind the retaining wall because it could be lower, And she would always say, "Well, how come you always get the go?" I would always win the snowball fights. I said, "Well, you have the whole front yard," but she had no protection.
What constitutes the winning of the snowball fight? It means that your sister ran in the house screaming and in pain?
No, usually it would end in whoever bombards the other fort with enough snowballs first. But see, I didn't have to work on my fort as much because I had the natural barriers. So
maybe that's why your shoulder broke.
That's probably it. I was too much leaping around back then.
Okay, so here we go. Another one. Body cameras aren't just for cops. It's a full retail sales operation offering the finest body cameras for your everyday walkabout.
All right.
Why not record everything you do and play it back at night to monitor your life? No more wasting time with selfies, picture taking. Let the BCJC create a discrete body camera device that follows you, the star of every day. Prices start at $3,500. Located on Standish and Bow on Katunkwit, Maine. Now, so you think about that, Standish, Bow, Katunkwit, I know where that is. Now, that is just a unique thing. I don't know how many people, they must be doing sales online or something.
Yeah, they have to be.
And I think about, who wants to wear a body camera?
I mean, maybe if you were like hiking in the mountains or something, but then you have actual cameras.
But then you might have, some people are these influencers. And
yes, absolutely.
For me, it's a disinfluencer. I would never buy anything based on somebody's narcissistic behavior. But there are out there, they're influencing someone because they had a brief stint on The Bachelorette or something like that. Well, we should get some of those influencers down to our Katunkwit Chronicles, don't you think, Callahan?
I think so, too.
Yeah, I think so, too. Well, Wednesday Night Live at the Ganny is an open mic opportunity for you to express yourself in any way you'd like. Juggling, comedy, music, spoken word, poetry, scenes, and improv. Wednesday Night Live at the Ganny has it all. Come on in and have a dinner and enjoy the show every third Wednesday of the month, and that is on January 21st.
January 21st, yes.
At 7 p.m. If you're a performer, come early, 6:30 to sign up. Slots are limited. Admission is free. And I realize people that are out there in other parts of the country and even the world listening to this are not going to be able to make it likely.
Right.
But if you do, get there for 6:30 because we want to see and hear you. And it does fill up.
Oh, yeah.
We've been filling up. I'm the MC. It's on a different island, of course, but I'm the MC with another woman, Jan, and we are out there every month on the third Wednesday of the month.
There are just some incredible, talented folks.
I know you've not missed one.
No.
You've been to every one. Even when you were you had some other issues, you were there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We have Callahan comes in and he does a lot of the technological work.
Yeah.
Because, I'm bereft in that area. But that's the way that worked.
Yeah. I always think it's a good mix, too, of the performers where you have storytellers, you have people telling jokes, you have singers, you've got bands, and you have very eclectic talented instrumentalists. Like, you know, you don't expect necessarily to see like a full like bluegrass ensemble at an open mic, and yet there they are, and they're great.
They showed right up, yeah. And it was quality too.
Absolutely.
We had a rocker come in like the first show of the night,
Yeah.
and she blew the
She was
doors
great,
off
yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
Katie and company.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's been really successful. Oh, there's another announcement. None other than James Allen, the host of Cattunkwit Chronicles, will be performing a live storytelling event at the Firehouse Theater in Newport, Rhode Island, just over in Aquidneck Island, on the February 5th, the evening of February 5th. So come on down and check out James Allen, and he will be, reciting the story, or telling the story, The Hairy Recluse Spider.
The Hairy Recluse Spider.
The Hairy Recluse Spider. Should be kind of fun. So, those are all real life stories.
Right.
And this happened for James Allen as well.
That's
So
great.
Let's transition.
All right.
We got the, music, the waves, and the bubbles. We're at that point of the show where we talk about bullshit, which is usually all of the show.
Right.
Today we kind of started seriously,
We did, yeah.
but we're moving towards humor, and I think humor can kind of offset some of the gloomy, miserable stuff that's happening in this world
Oh, yes.
at this time. So, and I imagine there's some good things that are happening too.
Of course. I
I
think
just can't think of one right now.
the news is just dominated. I guess the negative headlines, have always been how they influence their base, I guess. You talk about the influencers. It's just people feed on negativity.
Someone suggested that by the time of the 2026 midterm election, gas prices will probably be at an all-time low. And though every American taxpayer will probably receive some sort of payment for their vote through this, what do they call them, tariffs. So that was suggested the other night at a dinner party, and I thought, wow, that couldn't be more true. So that's what's going to likely influence the vote.
Right.
Is it bullshit or not? Tim Semplewhite of Brookings Road in Cattunkwit experienced a sinkhole in his driveway that swallowed his car. Brookings Road is in the north end along the shore, and apparently the massive simultaneous failure of cesspools above him on the properties situated on the hill overlooking Narragansett Bay created an underground river of gray water that infiltrated Tim and Marjorie's Semple's property to the point where their car was swallowed by the earth. Sam's towing service risked it all to remove the vehicle from within the sinkhole that extended 23 feet down. It was all I could do to get the hook on it. The fire department helped me, said Sam of Sam's Towing. We got it. It wasn't easy, but we done it, said Sam. Is it bullshit or is it not?
I'm going to say it's not fully bullshit. Because I could see, well, it does include shit.
I'm trying not to give...
Just through.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
have shit, yes.
Yeah. But I would say I could see that happening. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of a car being pulled out from 23 feet. I feel like it would disintegrate perhaps before that, but I don't know.
This is true.
Oh!
Yes,
all
another
right.
true moment here in Cattunkwit. We've had so much rain during that fall season. This just happened in the fall. And then we had, influence of, like, lots of visitors coming too in the fall for some reason around the holiday. And I think that that much water in the system up on the hill there. Just drove all this water down the slide down the hill and underneath in these underground rivers, and created a sinkhole.
Wow.
And it's the first sinkhole that I know of in town. But 23 feet, you know, there's machines can
Yeah, I
pull,
suppose,
pull
yeah.
things out. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think the car was worth saving, but we don't want all that fuel in
I was
the
gonna
ground,
say,
you know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, the interior might smell a little bit.
Oh, I
after,
think so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of smell all around that area. And, you know, I haven't heard from people in the area, but they have certainly experienced something very dramatic.
Yeah. Did you?
And I thought Sam was instrumental in, you know, bringing the fire department in, because they're, once again,
Yep.
that group of people are volunteering, and they volunteer for some shitty stuff. And
Literally,
that's-
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Did you hear? That's actually some good news on kind of a similar. It's not a bullshit or not, but you hear about the cow that got stuck on Block Island in the water, and the crews of people had to rescue the cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a pond that was
yeah.
partially frozen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a dog recently.
Yeah.
I had an occasion to fall in once, too. Twice, actually, in my life. Through the ice. Not good.
No.
No, very bad. There has been this. It was Providence Journal had a picture of. I happened to be at the library, and I get to look at the paper as an actual piece of paper, you know,
Right.
rather than on a screen.
That's always enjoyable.
Yeah, you know, I prefer it in many, many respects. And just going into the library, Katunquit's got a nice library, so we enjoy that. But I'm over there pretty much every other day, maybe.
Right.
Just reading the paper. And I fill out the, I do the crossword puzzle.
Right.
And I also do the jumble. The jumble. So you could tell I'm, semi-retired. So I'm forgetting what I'm saying.
You're reading the paper. The
Yeah.
journal had. An
the
article.
journal had a paper,
Yeah.
a picture on the front cover, and very far in the distance, these fellas were on the ice digging clams, and there I am. I'm one of them, and I only know it's me because I was with this other fella, and I know it was him.
That's
I could
great.
see it was him.
That's great.
So it was kind of funny to see my friend Bill out there with me in 1982.
That's great.
Yeah, and the whole bay froze over that year.
Oh yeah. Yes. I did see that article. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about all the years that it froze over.
yes,
and
yeah.
I was part of all of that. I tell you, when we were digging clams through the ice, you had to cut a hole with a
Right.
chainsaw, and it was dangerous as hell, all of it. But it was very consistent because you go out there, you dig a trench, prices were way up, and we were able to work every day.
Right.
Like, whereas if, you get blown out on certain days when you're on the water.
Right.
With
Yeah.
waves and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then you get, certain conditions are impossible, right? Tide or something. But in this case, no, just
Yeah.
go every day.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun memory. I think we should listen to some music.
All right.
And some bubbles. All right, so this story, James Allen experienced this.
Really.
Yeah, most of it.
Most of it.
Yeah, there's some fiction involved in every story.
Of course.
However, there was a Scott Orbis, and this experience, I think some of my classmates will be, if they're listening. Hello out there, classmates, class of '78. Are you listening? Are you there? I'm listening for you. Send a message if you are listening to, what's our?
KatunquitChronicles@gmail.com.
Thank you. Send a message, and we would love to hear your input. And we usually will, if with your permission, read them on the show.
Absolutely.
So this is entitled Scott Orbis for 6th grade class president. Scott Orbis for 6th grade class president by James Allen. I'm here at the Elks Annual Carnival with Scott Orbis. A guy my parents asked my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Hanrahan, to discourage me from befriending. I don't think it's fair, just because Scott doesn't have anyone taking care of him and he smells like he's been living outside, which he might be for all I know. And when he runs away from 6th grade at least twice each week and heads out to the graveyard to smoke, Mrs. Hanrahan almost always sends me to catch him, because I'm the fastest and the strongest in the 6th grade. Scott never runs as far as even the back fence because he's sucking wind from smoking too much. The best place to go with Scott is to a carnival because he seems like he knows this world. He knows his way around the games, and he even knows where to get free T-shirts. He disappears on me and arrives out of nowhere and says some guy gave him a whole box of carnival T-shirts. So I put on 5 or 6 that are my size, and he layers up 2, and we leave the rest for the other kids. That's it about Scott. He's messed up, but he cares about people, and he's generous. Around late October, Mrs. Hanrahan announced that because there's a national presidential election, the class would elect a president. Nobody wanted to try for the spot, so I put my name in, and I was surprised that Scott did too. Ricky Minot was my campaign manager, and he made signs, and Judy Grady, who I think really likes me, maybe she even likes me, she organized a parade at recess, and Seth Ballo brought in some horned instruments, and he and Sally Feist, who actually can play the trumpet, march around with everybody chanting my name. It was kind of fun, but no one did anything for Scott. He ran away again. And this time, Dirk Skierbeck, he had to catch him and bring him back. Dirk must have tackled Scott because they both were all muddy when they returned to class and Scott had a black eye. He said, "That puke Skierbeck tackled me right into Marge Coleman's grandfather's tombstone, that prick." Mrs. Hanrahan sent him to the principal's office where they cleaned him up and must have found a fresh shirt from the Goodwill pile and sent him back because, for once, Scott looks pretty good. Mrs. Hanrahan marches us to the auditorium, and me and Scott have to sit on the stage above everybody looking down at the whole 6th grade, not just our class, all 6 classes. The place is full. I love being on stage. And we even have microphones, and we're seated at a table. The other classes, not our class, are making a shitload of noise, so Miss Rosser places her lower lip, her over-lipsticked lip, on the microphone and screams into the crackly speaker at us, "6th grade, quiet! Quiet now!" I'm smiling quietly, but Scott nods his head, and all 6th graders grumble in low tones that most middle-aged teachers can't hear. "Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit." It's like no one can stop it, and for a split second I recognize that Scott Orbis has something that connects with the voters in the audience. It's like the time I underestimated the lineman playing pee-wee football across from me because I thought he was weak, and he popped me unexpectedly. I don't want to get popped in this debate, so I scratch a few notes on a piece of paper while Mrs. Hanrahan joins Miss Rosser in scolding the students. And I look over at Scott, my opponent, and for the first time in all the time I've known him, he's sitting up straight. He kind of licks his hand or something, and kind of smooths over his misguided front bangs, and even makes a kind of nice curl with the greasy hair mass above his eye. He kind of looks like a pirate. I still figure I got this election, but Scott's doing his best to get some votes. He catches me looking at him and winks at me, and man, it kind of gets me. I mean, I'm kind of like the guy that keeps him in line a little bit, and now he's running against me for president of the class. Mrs. Hanrahan and Miss Rosser sit down in seats to our left and are seated at desks all crowded in tight, almost against one another, and they're trying not to let any of the kids see up their skirts. Miss Rosser starts by telling, really yelling at us, the rules. Rule 1. Each student will have 1 minute to answer the question. Rule 2. Each candidate will refrain from interrupting the other candidate. Rule 3. Each candidate will be provided 30 seconds to formulate a question directed to address the other candidate after their answer. No shouting from the audience. Judy Grady yells, "James Allen for president. He's a cut above the rest." Miss Grady, you'll refrain from partisan announcements such as you just expressed, or you'll be forcibly removed from the auditorium. Is this clear? Miss Rosser announces as Scott breaks into a broad smile and subdued laughter. I just shake my head at him, which is the wrong thing to do, because most of the boys start hissing. Mr. Allen, you said during your campaign that you'd restore order to the classroom. What did you mean by this statement? And isn't that the responsibility of the teachers and the administration? Mrs. Handrahan asked. I concur, I say quickly, and I notice that Judy Grady is shaking her head, and most of the audience members are crinkling their eyebrows, and that's never good in a campaign. Well, at least that's what I think. What do I know? Scott Orbis raises his hand. Yes, Mr. Orbis? Mrs. Hanrahan responds. I'd like to follow up Mr. Allen's two-word answer with a question. Proceed, Miss Rosser chimes in just as Mrs. Hanrahan speaks into the microphone, so it squeals horribly. Mr. Allen, by the phrase, order to the classroom, do you mean chasing me down the hall and bringing me back to class? I adjust my chair. It makes a huge scraping sound on the maple wood flooring on the stage. I was ordered by the teacher to catch you. Maybe if you'd just stay in your seat like everybody else, you'd learn something. Miss Rosser nods her head in agreement, with the whole 6th grade class is shaking their heads again. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. I mean, this should be a cakewalk. A real cakewalk. Mr. Orbis, what elements of the curriculum would you like to see changed or added to next year? Ms. Rosser, I don't care about the curriculum next year. I'm out of Leander R. Peck Middle School next June, and then in September, we'll all be sent to that penitentiary called the junior high school next year. That is, if you do let me out of here. Miss Rosser shakes her head and says, there'll be no time for rebuttal of this answer. We're moving on. Mr. Allen, what is the most important element of your candidacy which you will bring to your presidency if you are elected by your peers? Judy Grady has prepared me for this question. I will lobby the school department and the chefs at Leander R. Peck Upper Elementary to provide real stainless steel forks and spoons and knives for our lunchtime meals. I'm sick of eating hot lunch with plastic knives. And we want cold milk, too. I can hear Judy Grady whispering to Mary Salvo. Mrs. Hanrahan adjusts her microphone and asks Scott the following question. Mr. Orbis, what will you do as president of the 6th grade class if you are elected president? Scott sits up even straighter than before, his newest shirt shining brightly in the lights. The plastic buttons are shiny and reflecting against his hazel eyes. His skin looks better, and he says proudly, I will do my best. Mrs. Hanrahan nods, and the faintest essence of a smile arrives at the ends of her mouth, and her eyes close slowly as she continues to nod. She opens her eyes and declares, There'll be no follow-up question to this response. Miss Rosser stands and holds the microphone to her lips in her classic style and announces, "We've devoted far too much time to debate. Classes will now return to their classrooms where you will vote for the candidate of your choice for president." Before I can fully rise from my seat, Scott Orbis is standing over me and shaking my hand vigorously as I rise awkwardly, and he says loudly so I can hear above the noise of the audience, "It's not what you say, Jimmy boy. It's how you look saying it. Don't forget that, Mr. President." Mr. President? I'm not president. You won the debate, Scott. But you'll win when they vote in a few minutes. I'm a fuck-up. They won't vote for me, he says as he reaches around my back and places his hand on my shoulder, and we walk off stage together to the sounds of the entire 6th grade's applause. That afternoon, Amy Zingott tallies the votes, and I win by 4 votes. 4 votes out of 129 students separates me and Scott Orbis. I actually voted for Scott. I wonder if he voted for me, but it really doesn't matter. For now, we'll go to carnivals together, light small grass fires, and stomp them out behind the graveyard, and walk by the dead dog in the marsh at the base of Princess Hill to see how much it decomposes after school each day. The end.
That was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, just because you were here or you weren't listening in on radio? Or,
Well, yeah, no,
not radio, whatever this is.
it reminded me of my days in middle school politics.
Oh, were you a candidate?
I was, yeah.
Were you a president, a vice president, or a secretary?
So I basically the way it was done was in middle school we had a class council, and it was let's see, it was only for the 8th grade. Only the 8th graders were allowed to run for president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer. And then there were every group of 100 students could basically vote for a representative. So I ran for representative, but there were like 30 people throwing their names in the hat. So it was a little hard to kind of gain a majority the first 2 years. 3rd year, I did win with an almost unheard of 100% of the vote.
100.
Yes. Well, it's because I had previously campaigned for treasurer and I lost, but my group of students, my core constituency, were backing me all the way. So.
Well, your core, but that's more than the core. You had to get those swing voters too.
Well, I did have a good campaign trick. I was running for treasurer and I printed out little
Coupons?
Well, you might say that. They're about this big, and they looked like.
For those that are out there and couldn't see what he did, it's about the size of your hand.
Yes, yeah. But it looked like a $1 million bill, and I put my picture in the middle for treasurer. So everyone had these fake little like Post-it note $1 million bills with my face on them, and that's you gained notoriety that way.
Wow, you took the time and the effort to do all of that.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's what's funny though is I didn't stick with it in high school because it ended up.
You didn't grow.
Well, yeah, no, it ended up becoming basically the only duties. It's what I had to laugh in the story. What would you do as president to change the thing? And everyone always has, oh, I'm going to get air conditioning for the whole school when I'm president. And it's
right.
well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But by the third, I did it for about 3 years. By the 3rd year I'd done it, the only thing we had accomplished so far was finding a venue for the prom. And I was the only guy. It was a very, very popular thing with the ladies to they were, as far as what they didn't like me, they didn't care about me. But I said, I really don't want to plan the prom as far as my after-school extracurricular. So I joined the jazz band instead.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's
So that's how
fun.
that story ends.
Well, that's true. But as we look at this young man, Scott, I have no idea what he's doing now. I wish I did know. And that would have been, I think maybe he could contact us at Catonquin Chronicles at gmail.com if you'd like. And, keeping in mind that this is fiction.
Of course.
It's based on stuff that happens in life. And I just thought that response was fabulous. It was perfectly timed, his response in that situation.
I will do my best.
I would do my best. And it just accentuated how little foresight I had and how I underestimated this character and this person and how we do this in life.
Yeah.
We think we're better than others and, for some reason, and nothing could be further from the truth. And everybody has periods in their life where things aren't going right, and I wish I was much more compassionate and understanding. The part of this that isn't actually true is that we didn't go to carnivals together, and I wish we had. I guess that's I wish we had. I wish I'd known this fellow, better, and I wish I didn't chase him through the graveyard, and I wish I wasn't placed in responsible position to drag him around. I mean, that wasn't right.
No.
And that was wrong on the part of the teachers.
Yeah.
But, it was a different era.
It was a different time, yeah.
But you set up a kid like me for a lifetime thinking about it.
Right. Yep.
Wishing things are different. And, we can write about these things, and sometimes they resonate with others, and perhaps this will resonate with others as well.
Absolutely.
And let them know that, I'm not a bad guy, as it turns out.
No.
And I don't ever remember having any stainless steel cutlery at the middle school.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say we had the all-in-one plastic baggie with the napkin, knife, fork, and spoon, all prepackaged and wasteful.
But the mention of the cold milk, that was legit. They used to keep the milk in an uncool place.
Yeah,
it was just like thrown on the floor.
Yeah,
it would show up in these bottles. At first, they were glass bottles, and then they became cartons later on. But imagine giving a bunch of third graders a glass bottle of milk that actually had cream on the top.
Yep.
It wasn't homogenized.
Right.
It was crazy. And it was all like warm when you got it. Who likes warm milk?
Yeah. No, we had, when I was in school, we had a freezer for the milk, but I remember, and this is very early years, you're talking elementary school, it was a 50-50 chance you'd have to check the expiration date because they would put the new ones on the top, of course, but they weren't pulling the ones on the bottom out.
Oh,
so,
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Such things that happened to us as we were children. Of course, these are definitely first world problems, right?
Right.
So we had them milk.
Yes, exactly.
So what? It was a little bit warm. I'm sure it was only 2 hours sitting there.
Right.
So it probably met the standards as it was. I mean, did you eat hot lunch?
I usually...
In high school?
In high school, never. I don't think I ever bought a lunch at school in high school. I always brought my own. I was a picky eater at that point.
I loved certain meals that they had. They had the potatoes and the peas and that amalgam of kind of reddish meat that was really question mark. We always thought it was horse meat, but I loved the taste of it.
Yes.
I would eat any of that. I'd buy 2 of those.
Our rations of government cheese? Government cheese product, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that was American cheese.
Yes. Yeah.
We had that. But, excuse me. So, one of the things that it was, particular about my high school experience was that I always get up early because I was a fisherman, I think I may have said this on the show, and have I told you this?
I don't think so.
And I would get up early and go to school very early. So I'd arrive when the lunch people were coming in for the breakfast program. And I would, pick up a broom or do whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'd sit down and do all my homework.
Mhm.
And I'd order 3 breakfasts.
Yeah.
So this is what the price was.
Yeah.
Here we go. 2 slices of toast, milk, juice, a box of cereal, and a box of milk. How much?
50 cents.
15 cents.
Wow.
I'd order 3, and I'd still have a nickel left over.
That's
Imagine
wild.
that.
Yeah, I was actually. It's funny you mentioned.
It wasn't that it was that cheap. It probably cost 50 cents, but it was subsidized by the
Right.
government.
Yeah.
And we had cereal at home. We had food
Oh, yeah.
at home. It's just I didn't want to wake up my parents.
Yeah.
Because I would go so early. Because I do all my reading, all my homework, all the busy work.
Mhm.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I always got food in elementary school. Back then, it was $1.25 for a hot meal, a side, and a milk. And if you just wanted the milk, it was 40 cents. And by the time I got to middle school, that was probably the last time I bought the lunches. They had a lot of very tasty but not very healthy food for you. Mozzarella sticks and chicken tenders and cookies and stuff. But those were like expensive. Like if you wanted that food, that was like $8 or $9. For a kid in 6th grade or something. That's when the tide turned. And it was I'm gonna just start bringing my food from home.
Yeah, we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So even the monies that I spent, on the breakfast and the lunch, I would make on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my parents may have given me some lunch money. I don't remember. I think they had plenty of lunch food at home, so if you wanted to make your own, you could bag and walk.
Exactly.
It was just so early. And then the other thing was, I could have done it the night before, but I never did. I always took my chances at what might be. It seemed like people really liked the pizza, but I liked the full meals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'd always order multiple meals because I was playing sports. I needed
Yeah.
extra calories.
Taking that caloric intake.
Yeah, before I went out on the field of competition. So that was the end of that story. But overall, did it bring you where you needed to go?
It did. I think so.
Good. I don't think there's any great moral here. It's just maybe the moral of the story is, well, maybe you could tell me what you think it is. Don't underestimate anybody.
Yeah, I think that's the moral, because I was going to say the moral of it sort of reminds me of like you said, where's Scott now? I know a few guys who reminded me of Scott growing up too in school, and I think that's the moral is, you might have to chase him down to get him to pay attention, but he might have
You might find that moment.
and you only beat him by 4 votes. At the end of the day.
And when you look at what the president that we have at this time, in the many, 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 many faults, and the likelihood of him becoming elected again. I mean, the first time even.
Right.
And then again. I underestimated him. Too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And continue to.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did.
Maybe but now I don't even know where there's a place in the world that you can actually be away from that. The sphere of influence seems to be expanding.
Yeah.
Keep working at it.
Yep. Chip away one day at a time.
Well, we're going to hear some music, some waves, and some bubbles.
Some bumbles.
Yeah. Hey, did I forget to push the record button, or did you? Hey, have a good one. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Ever say have a good one. We know about that. No. I didn't say that. Actually, we're going to take that right out of this episode, and we're going to say, have a wonderful afternoon in the sun.
Bye now.